Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today we're going to be going over Dr. Stone episode 23 of the anime series. Now then, we're on the road to making phones, and overall this episode, it was actually really good from a teamwork and a comedy perspective. I've accepted the fact that my level of science and my level of knowledge of science is probably the same as Gen's, or maybe at worse, Kohaku's, but she doesn't seem to know a lot, so that might be really bad. Speaking of Gen, what was up with the song that he was singing while making for zinc batteries? Like, I probably, at a guess, think that it was probably for comedic effect. For example, you know, he was singing along, being jolly, like, oh, this is nice and easy, and it's like, oh, I need 800. No more song. I guess that's how they were going to go with it, but I just found it slightly weird and creepy. Then again, it's Gen, so who knows. This episode does that thing again though, where it shows off how much science can improve the livelihood of a person. As they don't intend to, but they end up helping the villagers with the heat problem. So basically it's snowing, it's cold, they're outside fiddling with wires and their hands are getting numb. And you know what? They need some coal ash, so they basically modify the huts so that it can take heating. While they're heating the coal up, the villagers get warm, they can do their work a lot easier. So it's kind of like a, if you scratch my back, I warm yours up type of deal. And like I said, it doesn't directly help them on their route, but at the same time it develops and helps the lives of others in the village, and it shows that Senku does care about the villagers instead of just seeing them as, you know, labour. Help. Now, I am just going to get this out of the way and done with. The phones, they look dumb, honestly. And I knew they weren't going to be like smartphone looking type of things, but I at least thought it would be something like an old army phone, you know, with the big sort of backpacks on their shoulders and a big sort of antenna sticking out. I kind of thought it would be something like that. Maybe it is, maybe this isn't just part of it, but to me, looking at this image, it's just too bulky and big to even do anything useful. Maybe that's like a power plant, and it's got to go in like the centre, but at the moment, you're not convincing me that that's going to win you anything, really. Let alone a battle against Tsukasa. But, oh well. Now, for the best part of the episode, in my opinion, and that was the Kenshi. Is it Kenshi? Kensuke? I can't pronounce his character's name. The old man part of the episode. This part of the episode was emotional, as we see this guy go buff quite a lot, and that's cool and funny, but they actually gave us feelings and sort of like wanted us to kind of feel sad and sorry for this character, because he's an elderly man. Yes, he's buff and funny and good. Well, I don't know about good looking. Ladies are going to have to say that and answer that question for themselves, I suppose. Almost said that. But he just wants a friend. And the fact that he wants friendship was just really great and heartwarming. As, you know, he's been looking for a crafting buddy. He wants someone that he can call a friend and help him craft items and be useful with. As we actually see that he gets jealous of Chrome and Senku's bond. And, you know, he just wants someone else to have that kind of bond with. Someone that's close to his age. Because we see a bit of his past, and his past seems a bit sad. He's always had a knack for making things and enjoyed doing so, but people have looked at him a bit differently. So he hasn't really felt like he fits in anywhere. But I love the fact that we see him cry tears of joy when Chrome is like, but we're your friends. And, you know, age doesn't matter. To me, this was a brilliant part of the episode, and it gave more substance and more kind of meaning, not meaning as such, but it gave more, I think substance was the right word, for this character. You know, it gave that little thing that we didn't actually think we needed, but we did need for him. Now we know that this old man is highly skilled and is brilliant for comedy throughout this show and throughout this episode. So I'm glad that they gave him time to shine. And this was a good way to do it. So from that emotional kind of aspect of the episode, I do appreciate and I thank them for doing that. The other thing that this episode heavily focused on is the bond between Senku and the villagers. We see a level of trust and respect from Senku towards the villagers. And in return, these villagers are determined to help Senku. And they want to help him. It's not the case of, Senku's now the village leader. We have to go through all these grueling things to kind of, go with the flow. Like, the only person who's actually complaining about doing work is it Ginro? The blonde-haired one that's just annoying. He's like the only one who's actually complaining. Even Magma in this episode is like happily smashing away at the tungsten. And is like, excited to see what happens. The look on his face when he sees the phones, smiling, was kind of creepy because we don't expect that from his character. But all these villagers, they seem to trust Senku a lot. And Senku, in turn, trusts them. And that was great to see. So basically, we get quite a lot of claps in this episode. The claps were great. The claps of respect, fantastic. I love this addition to the episode. Chrome had this job to do that Senku trusted him with. So, boom, that's that. Kensuke, the old man, he had a job to do in making this ridiculous looking item. Done. And then Suika and the children and the elderly wanted to weave the golden things, and they needed to have not approval as such, but she just wanted to join in and have fun. So she got a clap as well. Even the former village chief respects Senku in this episode. He's like, look, making you the leader was not a mistake. I made the right choice, and I'm really happy to do so. Because the village is better off. Yes, these people want to help him. Yes, they probably want to get something out of it, like ramen or heating. But, at the same time, Senku wants something out of them. He wants them to work, so he needs them to be at 100%. So, for him trusting them, it's kind of a big deal, because at the start of the series, Senku was kind of skeptical about Tsukasa, and we haven't really seen him interact with many other characters so far. We've seen him slowly progress and get more of a connection with Chrome, but seeing it from the other villagers' perspective was just a good addition. And speaking of Chrome in this episode was absolutely brilliant. Chrome, he had a job to do. Basically, the main problem with the episode was that they had to get this toothpaste-like mixture of tungsten to heat above over 1,000 degrees. The hotter it heated, the more stronger the end result. And it had to heat within a glass container, meaning they couldn't just chuck it into the furnace because the glass container would melt. And the way that Chrome solved this is great for his character for two reasons. Reason number one, it shows that he is learning. He's taking everything that Senku has taught him and is teaching him, and he's putting it all together. He's using his knowledge to kind of find the solution. And that's kind of what a teacher would expect from his student. And that's kind of the relationship that they have. Yes, they're probably really, really good friends at this point. But at the same time, it's kind of like a master and student type of situation where Senku is the master in science and Chrome is the apprentice learning everything. So this was great. And the other idea, the reason as to why it was really good, is because in the upcoming war, if Senku were to die again at the hands of Tsukasa, then at least Chrome would have the skills to and the knowledge to progress forward with new ideas and kind of develop his own strategies and plans. Like, he won't become the village chief, but he would be able to help out, with the science stuff and improve weapons and everything else that would go into it. Yes, he won't know everything, but he would know a good foundation to work on. So, for Chrome's character, I really did enjoy this form of development. Because we see everything that everyone's been creating so far, and it goes together. Yes, Senku goes, oh, that was ugly. Why'd you make it like that? But you got the right idea. And, he had to say that just because he had to prove that he was better. It's just his character. So then, we actually have these phones. But what's next? Well, the war, I suppose, because we see that Tsukasa and his army are kind of like built up and are standing, looking out onto the horizon. We don't really know how these phones will be used or where they'll be placed for that matter. And honestly, that might be an interesting thing to see. I hope they don't gloss over that. Maybe they'll just be like, oh, we'll just stuck it on this tree, do it that way. And there is one part of this that I'm kind of feeling like I'm missing. But at the same time, I can't remember if it comes after this bit or before this bit in the manga. And honestly, I wouldn't know where to start looking if I was to double check this. So I'm not going to say it just to avoid spoiling it for anybody. All in all, this was a great showcase of characters and interactions, especially for Senku, Chrome, the old dude, Gen, I suppose, because Gen actually did make me laugh a lot in this episode. They used him mostly for comedy, but hey, still a great character. Good animation, and I love the fact that the original opening by, is it Burnout Syndrome? I'm pretty sure it's Burnout Syndrome. It came back in a montage towards the end. Hashtag best opening of the show. It is. Well, my opinion, I suppose. I prefer the Ohio Sekai Good Morning World a lot more than what we have at the moment. Now, I've looked it up real quick, and it looks like there is going to be 24 episodes this season. So I hope that they set up the war arc. So what I mean by this is I hope they take the next episode to kind of weaken Tsukasa a little bit, show off how this phone is going to work in their favour, and then have it so that the war actually is about to start at the end of the season. I don't want them to kind of rush in and have the war and have the fights all rushed and done for this last episode, unless it's like an hour long, but even then I don't think that's enough. Because remember, they need to have an inside person, and the only two people that they have that can be inside to help them is Yuzuriha and Taiju. But we haven't seen them at all, so they can't set that up all in 1 hour, if it's going to be an hour special to finish it off, or in half an hour at all. Like, that is just way too much content to kind of cram into that small amount of space. So, hopefully they don't rush it, because that would be disappointing if they do rush this type of war thing. However, I don't think they will. I think what will happen is the thing that I'm not as sure about, like if they skipped over it or if they missed it, probably will happen in the next episode. Because it does involve Highmore. The pink-haired girl that we saw burning the village. Because it involves her, and we do see her with Tsukasa when I thought she was on watch duty. Okay? Anyway, that's my thoughts on this episode. Good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm actually kind of glad that we might be getting a break from Dr. Stone now, after next week's episode, or this week, whenever you're watching it. And, because honestly, I actually feel like some of the characters in this show, when Senku starts talking about the science stuff, at first I got it and I enjoyed it, and it was easy to follow, but now, because we're getting more complicated stuff, I find myself getting dumber and dumber. And honestly, I don't like it when this show makes me feel dumb while watching it. But hey, it's only anime, so we ain't gonna be too, too critical. Unless it's Vanguard, gotta be critical. Anyway, I'm gonna end the review here because I'm waffling now. So, if you liked the video, disliked it if you dislike, let me know why and how I can improve in the comments if you did. Much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I hope you'll have an amazing day, and I'll be catching you next time. Bye bye for now.